Hello, and welcome to the 2011 African American Contractors Association's 9th Annual African American Contractors Day, sponsored by Walmart. Rapid Set Construction Cement, Bear Paint, Food for Less, The Home Depot, Dominic's Finer Foods, Sherwin-Williams Paint, Walgreens, Starbucks Coffee, 3M Corporation, Glidden Paint, U.S. Gypsum Corporation, Bosch Power Tools, Makita Power Tools, and hosted by the Rainbow Push Coalition. Other participants in the African American Contractors Association's Contractors Day include Webb Chevrolet from Oakland, Illinois, Sherwin-Williams Paints, and a special thanks goes out to Alderman Niles Sherman for his classic cars.
Good morning. My name is Roland Dimes, and I'm the operations manager for Go Foam Inc. We're a spray foam insulation contractor, and we're here today at Operation Push headquarters to join the African American Contractors Association. We're here basically to show the contractors the insulation of the future. Spray foam is like turning a styrofoam cooler upside down on a house and keeping all of the air and the moisture and all of the energy that we put into the houses inside the house rather than letting it leak out. So we're happy to be here, and hopefully people will understand the benefits of spray foam insulation.
Hey, good morning. I'm Marcus Wells with Glidden Professional Paints. We're one of the largest suppliers of paints and coatings in the Chicagoland area and in the world, actually. We offer everything from interior paints, exterior paints, all maintenance coatings for your home, pretty much everything, commercial, residential. We've got an office at 1243 West Madison in Chicago where we sell, deliver paint all throughout the Chicagoland. So we're kind of your paint guys. If you got any questions about paint, let us know. Oh, this is a great event to kind of get into the community and get everybody aware of the products that we sell and get in front of the customers. And it's a great way to network. Like I'm already passing out some applications because we were looking for a driver and getting to know some of the contractors that. It's a great event to be a part of. I appreciate the invite.
Hi, how's it going? I'm Raphael. Mario, we're from Rapid Set.
How's it going?
We're just here to promote our cement here. We're a fast-setting concrete material, cement material. We have mortar mix. It's just a fast-setting product, non-shrink, hydraulic. Later on today, we'll be mixing it on so you guys can actually take a look and see how it works, how fast it is, how strong it is. And that's it for me. I don't know, Mark has something to say?
Yeah, all our products are also commercial grade products, DOT approved, military approved, and government approved. Our products have known been used over all the other airports in the country. What they do is repair their runways overnight and are ready for jet landing and jet takes off next morning. We're also all across the West Coast and the East Coast as well too. They repair their highways with our products, so it's a great product for any type of new projects, industrial projects, and also repair projects. All right.
So we have the mortar mix here. This is good for 1/2 inch to 6 inches in thickness in one coat. You can actually use this for stucco repair, vertical repair, overhead repair. Really nice and sticky. Won't sag if you're using it for an overhead repair. Shower pans. If you use it for a shower pan, you go ahead and tile within 1 hour. We have this one here, the Cemento. Does everything. This has real fine. It has a silica sand. You can go from 0 to 4 inches in one hit. You can use it for resurfacing. You can use it for leveling. You can use it for every project you have at home that needs some sort of cement. This does it all. You don't have to buy one product to fill it in and then do something else to resurface it. This does everything right here. The Rapid Set Cemento. Next we have over here the concrete mix. This is the one with the gravel. This is what you would be using for post setting, for doing your decks. It's buildable, drivable in 1 hour. 1 hour, it's got 3,000 PSI, just like all our products. This is what you would be using for slabs, your sidewalk, or driveway, anything where you have to fill in anything over 2 inches. And those are our 3 stock items at Home Depot.
I'm Dan Liddy. I work for USG, and we're showcasing the USG portfolio within the Home Depot today. We make the Durock Next Gen product, the Fiber Rock product, Secure Rock, and the Ultralight drywall, new to the Home Depot and exclusive Home Depot.
Aisha Barnes, I'm also with USG here showcasing the USG portfolio, as Dan mentioned. Again, our featured products is USG Sheetrock brand ultralight panels, and we're pretty excited about it. It's been doing well for us, and we encourage you, if you're doing a drywall project, to go to the Home Depot, pick it up, and it'll help you do your job faster, stronger, and better. It's the same installation as standard 1/2-inch drywall. Right now we have it in 1/2-inch, pretty much all lengths, as well as 54-inch. So as the standard way that you install typical drywall, you'll use this the same exact way. The only difference is that it's lighter and it's stronger pound for pound.
Okay, my name is Steve Lungawa. I'm the retail sales manager for the Chicago area, and I believe they wanted to see a little bit of how our new product cuts here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that for you. Scores and snaps nice and easy. As you can see, nice clean cut, nice edges, so you got an easier product to work with, along with the 30% lighter in weight product.
It's a substitute for drywall.
Correct. Yes. It's the regular sheetrock is 30% heavier, so the main concern with contractors of how we can improve the product is weight. So what we did was formulate a new product and now have a product that performs the same way, but it's 30% lighter, so it's a little bit easier for the contractors to work with.
Good morning. My name is Jim Williams. We're here to represent the Home Depot from the Dan Ryan. We're proud to be here with the ADCA operation. We are the busiest depot on the south side of Chicago. We service most of the contractors in this area. We do roughly about $12 million a year just in contractor service alone. A lot of the projects here on this side of town, most of that material is supplied by the 87th and Dan Ryan Home Depot.
My name is Matt with Bear Paint. I also represent the Kills Primers as well as our new Kills Pro X paint. Right now we have a table set up where we're showing off our products. We have our Kills Pro X, which is geared more towards contractors, property owners, going to get good touch-up, great application. Next we have our Kills Primers. This is the #1 primer in the world. We have 2 new products here. We have a Clean Start, which is a 0 VOC. Anyone painting hospitals, communities, that's the one to go with. Also a stain blocking ceiling paint and primer. And then finally we have our Ultra Paint, which has been rated #1 in Consumer Reports 2 years in a row now. It's a paint and primer in one. It's going to give great durability. Homeowners, that's the way to go. Property managers who don't like doing a lot of touch-up, that's the way to go too.
Good morning, guys. My name is Roberto Rios. We're here with Bosch Tool Corporation. At the Dan Ryan, we're here to support AACA, African American Contractors Association. We're with Bosch. We have a full variety of pneumatics, hammer drills, you name it, we have it. You contact us at Home Depots. We have pneumatics, hammers, circular saw saws, roofing nailers, impact drivers, and hammers.
I want to welcome you to Rainbow Push Coalition and African American Contractors Day. We'll have a blessing over the breakfast and get started.
Eternal God, our Father, we do come at this time and at this gathering to thank you for our safe arrival. We ask you bless this food for the nourishment of our bodies. In the name of Jesus Christ, we do pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, you can have your food. You can get up and be served.
And we want to welcome all of you guys for being here this morning. My name is Willie L. Brown III. I am the Vice President of Operations for ACA, the African American Contractors Association. I am the founder of AC Brown Construction Company. And we also want to, let me have this say, Willie Tappenbarrel, they call her a little warrior. And she's still on the battlefield, she's still fighting. Thank you once again.
Again, my name is Bob Hudson, President of Delta Institute. And before I talk about the Delta Institute, I would like to acknowledge Omar Sharif's leadership. When I took over, one of the first things I wanted to do was to have much more of an outreach to the minority community. And everybody said, well, you got to meet the man. I said, well, who's the man? They said, Omar. And Omar came out to one of our businesses, and he saw the work we were doing with ex-offenders, and he said, hey, nobody knows about Delta. You guys are doing great things, so I really want you to be part of our organization's outreach. So appreciate your effort, Omar. Let me talk a little bit about the Delta Institute. The Delta Institute is a nonprofit based here in Chicago, and what we try to do is two things. We try to trailblaze new ideas with the green economy. And the other thing we try to do, and the most important thing is, we try to take these innovative ideas and bring them to scale. In other words, create actual businesses that create actual jobs, that create actual commerce in the minority and disadvantaged community. And let me give you an example of some of the work that we do. We started a deconstruction initiative here in the city of Chicago about 2 years ago. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with deconstruction, but deconstruction is where you disassemble a building in a reverse order of constructing the building. It's an alternative to just demolishing the building down. And the benefit of deconstruction is it provides 5 jobs for every 1 demolition job, number one. Number two, we salvage anywhere from 80 to 90% of the materials from the buildings. And what we do is we resell those materials back into the community, typically for 10 to 20% of retail of what you find at a place like Lowe's or Home Depot. So think about what it does. At our store that we've opened up at Ashland and Webster across from Green Dolphin Street, we have over 20 people employed. We have 60 ex-offenders learning how to make value-added products, and we're selling over $500,000 of doors, windows, and appliances back into the community. And this is a model that we've developed. It's working well in Chicago. We just got additional money from Tony Preckwinkle in Cook County, and we're going to open up 2 more of these deconstruction resale stores in Cook County. Yesterday I was at the South Suburban Mayors Conference. I'll tell you, I had a waiting line of the mayors saying, hey, sign me up to have your next retail store. So from a contractor standpoint, I would encourage you to think about deconstruction as an alternative to your work model. Come visit our store. There's all types of great things for you to buy, mahogany doors, all type of ornamental stuff, as well as think about getting into the deconstruction profession. We think it has job creation opportunity of over 500 in the next 2 years here in Chicago. And again, it's a major, major initiative. One of the best things about this program is about half the people that we've employed are ex-offenders. And I did a lot of work with the Safer Foundation as a consultant before I became president of Delta. And I will tell you that it costs $27,000 to $30,000 to keep these guys in prison. We make taxpayers out of these guys. We give them a creative opportunity. And our statistics show that if they find a job within 3 months of getting out of jail, 90% of them don't go back. So that's one of our major initiatives. Again, I could talk for hours. One other thing, in terms of deconstruction, we only have 1 minority contractor that we've been able to find breaking ground to do this work, and that's unacceptable. So I would like to have 5 more minority contractors moving forward within the next 5 years, next 1 year as a minimum. Another area that is very powerful for us is the whole area of weatherization. We have a weatherization program. We will weatherize over 300 homes this year. We already have funding for the city of Chicago to weatherize 600 homes next year. Again, I've only been here 6 months, only 1 minority contractor, unacceptable. Again, I'd like for us to at least have 5 as a minimum going into calendar year 2012. Also, I got some talking points here. We've just opened up a training program for weatherization at South Suburban College. and it's focused on skilled individuals interested in weatherization and hazardous materials. Sean Terry, can you put up your hand? He's got a program here. We've only got one minority contractor to sign up for this program. It's a great program. I'm getting the beep here, so I'm going to have to get off the stage here real quick. One of the things I'm always asked is, what should you be thinking about in the future? How should you be navigating the future of the green economy? One of the points I would say is the federal government has indicated trends to combine weatherization with green and healthy home initiatives to include remediation of lead, asbestos, and mold. If you're not thinking about that area, you should be thinking about that area. The last thing I will say before I get off the dais is Delta has a broad portfolio of things that we do. I could be up here for an hour, but obviously I can't. But one last comment. We also do financing, and that's a big barrier. We're financing Brownsville Cooking, which is a mega restaurant complex on 51st and Calumet, and we're going to help them with their financing and LEED certification as well. So that's it. Talk to me afterwards. A lot of time.
Thank you, Robert, once again. I want to make a couple of announcements. The parent leadership of the South Shore, and we want to acknowledge Bishop Grant there. Right now, we're going to ask State Representative LaShawn Ford to come up to the podium. He has another agenda, but he made it possible to stop by here, so we want to say thank you.
Thank you. Well, good morning. It's always an honor to be in the house with Reverend Jesse Jackson, and I guess he'd make you nervous because, he's the the father of civil rights. So I'm very happy to be in his house. Stay nervous. Stay nervous? All right. Well, I also want to thank Omar Sharif for doing this, and Reverend Willie Brown and Ms. Turner. I want to thank Reverend Jackson also for bringing the West Side right here I found out she's from the West Side. Who said the West Side and the South Side can't get along? And we got Reverend Jesse Jackson building the bridge. And I know that a good friend of mine, I don't know if he's a reverend, he acts like a reverend, Reading Fellows. He really helped me out making sure that I could be on the South Side today and connecting me with the right people. My purpose for being here is to say that we're going to have a job rally and a state hearing on employment for African Americans on the 26th at 10:30 at the Thompson Center. So we could talk about all the problems with the African American community, but if we get work and we get contracts, then you might see a lot of those problems disappear. When I look at Highland Park and I look at Beverly and all the other communities where crime is low and all the disparities are low, they have jobs and they have contracts. But from Austin, there are no jobs and there are no contracts, so you have high murder rates and you have high rate of disease and high rates of dropout. So on the 26th, this is an opportunity for us to have a sit-down face-to-face with IDOT, the governor, and all other agencies with the state of Illinois, because there are two bills that have been signed that we were able to pass. And that's the African American Employment Plan. It's signed, which means that we have to make sure that African Americans, not just minorities, but black people, are able to move up in state government, and we eliminate the disparities of African Americans being hired by IDOT, by DCEO, and all of the different agencies in Illinois. And we also have the bill that I authored, and that is the microloans for ex-offenders so that they can start their own business. And we already know that the state will not and seem to resist hiring people with backgrounds. So why not let the people with backgrounds start their own business? So the bill is passed. The goal is to put the pressure on the governor right now to fund the bill, and who better to handle the funding than Operation Push, so that we can make sure that we can put the contractors to work and they can start their own business and become taxpaying citizens and not burdens on the state of Illinois. And I know that there's going to be a jobs rally in D.C., but we have one right here in Illinois on the 26th at 10:30 at the Thompson Center. So invite your friends, invite everyone that's unemployed, underemployed to come to the Thompson Center on the 26th of this month. That's Tuesday. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, State Rep. LaShawn Ford. What he talks about is very important. He's talking about jobs, economic development, and what he's talking about putting some money in your pocket and getting things done. But also, we want to bring up a gentleman that can share some more information about a $250 million contract over there at the hospital. Jesse Green, would you like to take the podium, sir? Thank you.
Give Jesse
Let's give him a round of applause, please. We said $250 million. Y'all look like y'all went to sleep. We didn't say $2.
Good morning. My name is Jesse Green, and I'm from Mount Sinai Hospital. Great seeing Reverend Jackson here, Reverend Barrows. Thank you, Omar, for the invitation to inform you guys of a project that we have on the west side of Chicago, a $250 million project, which is a replacement inpatient pavilion as well as a new ambulatory care center, which consists of some outpatient services as well as about 10,000 square foot of retail space, primary care, and surgery suite. Both of these facilities will be going after LEED certification. We just finished up schematic design for both of the facilities, and we're moving into design development, which will take about another, just to give you a feel of what the schedule is like, take up about another 8 months for us, and then after design development, we'll be moving into what they call, as you know, construction documents, and that's an additional 8 months. So we're looking at breaking ground in about the fall of 2013 for both of these facilities. They will go up simultaneously. We will be demolishing 2 of our older facilities, which neither were designed for providing patient care. We'll also be adding an additional 400 parking spaces, and I'm giving you the details so you can see the array of jobs that are available to you. Speaking of jobs, we have about 35% of our contract that must be set aside for minority contractors, another 7% for women-owned contractors, and another 15% that could be embedded in there for community residents. Means they have to come from the community in which Sinai sits in. We wanted to make sure that we had representation from the community as well as minority contractors. I think that's pretty much a broad. BSA Light Structure is our architect on the program, and Navigant is our program manager, and Power is the construction manager for the program. Am I supposed to give questions? Okay. Thank you.
Let's give him another round of applause. We're talking about $250 million. That's a lot of money. That can change the whole family's thinking. We get that paycheck every week. We got the reverend was going to talk about on the broadcast at 10 o'clock this morning. But we're about construction. We're about building families. We're about building communities. And we have Bob Voss from Leopardo. He's going to come up and talk about some more jobs and some more contracts. So what you guys need to do after we break apart, you need to get up and talk with some of these people and do some networking with them if you want some money in your pocket. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to thank Omar, and I'd like to thank the association for having us here. My name is Bob Voss. I'm with Leopardo Construction. I wanted to come here today to specifically talk about a project in the West Loop. Leopardo was awarded a general contract for a retail development in the West Loop. The project name is the Gateway. It's on the corner of Monroe and Halstead. It's 190,000 square foot, multiple story retail development. It's got 157 above ground parking spaces. 48 of them will be on grade. It's got, this project will be seeking LEED certification. Right now it's just LEED certification. We're anticipating this building to go silver. This project we will have a minimum of 24% minority contractors and 4% women contractors. Our hope is to beat that substantially, and I wanted to be here today to try to reach out to network with you folks and try to get some contacts so we can get some more African American contractors on this project, and for that matter, for Leopardo in general. So we are anticipating this project going out to bid very shortly, within a couple of weeks. We're looking to break ground in early October. Again, I'd like to thank Omar for having Leopardo and us here, and I look forward to meeting you after we're done with the presentation session. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Let's give him a round of applause there. It's very important that you listen to this young lady here as you listen to everybody else. This young lady here has some very valid information. I think we need to listen to understand what she had to say. We want to welcome Victoria Wright to the podium. Give her a round of applause, please.
Good morning. My name is Victoria Wright, and I am from the City of Chicago Office of Compliance and Procurement. As you may know, compliance is merging with procurement in City Hall, and some of you might have, I recognize some faces from some neighborhood events that I've gone to, and I thank Omar for inviting me to this event. But we will be moving to procurement soon, sometime in August, and we'll be trying to send out information to all the assist agencies to let everybody know that we've relocated to City Hall. But today I'm only here to talk about certification, and Harold told me to remind everybody how important it is to get certified if you want to be able to apply for these jobs. So first of all, I want to let you know that the MBE and the WBE application is $250. The application is $250. If you want to do DBE or ACDBE, that application is free. I do a training class coming up every third Wednesday of the month. I do a training class at City Hall on the 8th floor. It's free to come. You don't have to register. It's at 2 o'clock, and it's a longer class to show you everything that you need. But the thing that I want to stress today is the most important thing is documentation. So if you have a company, you should always make sure that you have all your records in order. If you're going to try to apply to any of these jobs that were just spoken about, you might want to start the application process now. The application process can take 90 days or more, because we always tell people that you have to have every document in before we even start the audit process. So if you know that you want to start the process, you can do it online at www.cityofchicago.org/compliance. And I did bring hard copy applications with me today. It's called a Schedule A. If you want to do DBE application, I have that application. I also have help text. So everything you need to know about the application is question by question help document to get through every single question. So we try to help you through the entire process. I have cards with me today, so if you want to call the office and ask questions, you can do that. Some of the things that I want to stress that we always end up having to call people about is the majority owned in the company. If it's an MBE, WBE, you have to make sure that the majority of your company is owned by a minority. And I'm going to give you a tip. You cannot say 50-50. I'm giving you that off the top. We're not supposed to tell you that, but you cannot be 50-50. Somebody has to be the minority. Another thing is taxes. If you send in your tax forms, make sure they're signed. I know a lot of times now when we do our personal taxes, you just send it in and you don't sign it. But when you send it to us, just take the signature page and sign it, because that's going to hold up your documentation audit if we get tax documents that are not signed. Another thing is the majority of the work. Who's doing the majority of the work? You can't say your women-owned business is owned by a woman, but she doesn't know the job. If you're a construction company and she's a woman and she can't do construction, you are not a woman-owned construction business if the woman can't do the work. So you have to make sure that you go through all the details. Everything is online. All the regulations are online, and we ask people to go through all of those documents before you even start the process. If you want to do the application online, you can. If you need assistance, you can always call the office and we can help you. Since I've been working with Omar and I see Tianda from South Shore, I've always told people if they want somebody to come out and talk to their members, I'm willing to do that. I just ask that you at least have 20 people in the room so I don't come out for 2. But yes. But the class is longer than you're giving me today. So if you want me to come out and actually give a class at your agency, I'm willing to do that. So I will be here after this session to give out applications, to give out the help text, and to give out cards if anybody wants to call the office. Okay.
Thank you. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Byron Whitaker, where you look? Where's Byron Whitaker? Okay. Thank you, Byron, for being here with her to assist her. So you can't say you just had one person to wait on. You got two people here to help you. Now, if you want help is here for you to get the certification in order. Now, as we're going to move farther on down the line, I want to introduce Roland Imes. He's going to talk about a project that he uses in the industrial industry that will help the contractors. Come forward, sir. Give him a round of applause.
Good morning. My name is Roland Imes. I'm with a company called Go Foam Inc. We're a spray foam installation contracting company. Omar, I'd like to thank you for your invitation. Reverend Jackson, thank you very much. Spray foam insulation, some of the people that have already spoken this morning speak about LEED certification. There's different ways to make your project LEED certified. You have to get a series of points in different categories. One of those categories, and one of the largest categories within the LEED points, is insulation. And the objective is to gain more points, you have to have your building insulated beyond what the normal or the average building is. And spray foam insulation does that. I don't know if you're familiar with spray foam insulation, but this is an insulation really of tomorrow that we're working with today. So it's not only used in LEED certification projects, but we've worked on the Kenmore project. So some of the low-income housing that's going on, renovations in Chicago, this is an insulation that differs greatly from what you're used to. So if you're used to a batt or a blown-in insulation that allows air and moisture to transfer through it, spray foam insulation does not allow either of those to transfer through a building. So it really is an insulation that is going to gain more and more popularity, and I wanted to make sure that you as contractors understand this product and I can be a resource for you. We have a vehicle parked outside, so if you're not familiar with spray foam and you'd like to learn a little bit more, you each have a brochure in front of you, but we'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have and partner up with you on any project that you might be working on. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give a good round of applause. Every month at our monthly meeting, we normally have someone that comes out and talk about a green product, because what the world is going green today. So not only in your pocket, but as the environment grows as well. We want to bring on Marcia Turner. She is the National Director of the International Trade Bureau Association. Will you come forward and give her a round of applause, please?
Good morning, everybody. We certainly thank you all so much for being here this morning, and as I said before, we came for a purpose this morning. Minorities are locked out in large numbers of most all major contracts, and so this morning we are presenting to you information to help you get in front of the people who have the contracts, who have the work, so that you can benefit from that. Our organization advocates on behalf of minority and women-owned businesses to give you access to the people, the resources, and the very things that would help to grow your business. So we are here every day. Our contractors meet on Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock a.m. here at Rainbow Push. So for those of you who have not been a part of this meeting, please feel free to come out on Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock a.m. We meet across the hall in our library. So that meeting is open to you. We are available and certainly anticipating getting to know you and your businesses. What we do here is certainly for the public. We are community-based. We are certainly open and trying to make ourselves available to you for all that you need. So again, we thank you so much for being here. Certainly you'll hear from Reverend Jackson momentarily. And in the meantime, we want you to be a part, come out. We have a broadcast at 10 o'clock a.m. every Saturday morning. Again, it's here. So for those of you, this is your first time being here at Rainbow Push, raise your hand. Your first time here. We are here every day. So again, on Saturdays, this is a real serious work day for us. We have our Trade Bureau meetings that will be resuming. Those are on Saturday mornings. And the Trade Bureau is the business arm of our organization. So again, those meetings will resume, and please make sure that you sign the sign-in sheet so that we will have your contact information to invite you to all that we have going on here. As I said before, our 10 o'clock broadcast is televised live, and it's in our sanctuary down these stairs and to your right. Down the stairs and to your right. So again, we have a lot going on here at the organization, and we certainly would like your participation. You can always visit our website at www.rainbowpush.org. You can give my office a call at 773-256-2753. We certainly do want to thank our Trade Bureau member, Mr. Omar Sharif, and Reverend Willie Brown. So thank you so much for all that you two have done and for being a part of the International Trade Bureau. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Joe Williams of the Target Group.
Thank you again, Marchette, for doing such a great job. Good morning. I'm Joe Williams, chairman of the Target Group. Some of you in the audience, of course, know me. We've been around a long time working in this area of trying to maximize opportunities for African-American firms, particularly as we move more and more into the neighborhood. On a number of projects, we've been very successful. But this morning, I'm here not so much to talk about our projects. I'm really here to make a plea for folks to get more involved in both the Trade Bureau and specifically in the African American Contractors Association. The way that the market is going right now, all of a sudden, particularly because of some of the downturn in the economy, there's been this discussion about how do we find more African American firms to work. And right now, there's not a good solid organization or organizations out here that are providing your name when people are looking for contractors to work on this job. Construction is a very fast-paced activity. Once a contract is ready to go, these contractors are ready to go in and do the work. And it's really important for us to have an organization like ACA out on the front line, involved in all of the preparatory meetings, making sure that your name gets in front of these contractors early. I am telling you that if you see a project in the paper that's about to start construction, if you thought you had an opportunity at that point, it's too late. So my point today is that if you are not a member of ACA, please, I urge you to join ACA. You can also join the Trade Bureau, but I think it's important because when we're looking for contractors, or when these contractors are looking for people to be involved with, we need a strong organization out there that's coming to the table, that's always making sure that you are being represented. I mean, there are other interest groups that have organizations, the Hispanic American Contractors Association, they have a number of other organizations, the Federation of Women Contractors. These organizations are prolific advocating for their constituencies. We need ACA to do a better job of being able to advocate for you. And the only way you can do that is making sure that you are a part of ACA. So my plea this morning as we think about what I think are going to be some major opportunities that are going to be coming up in the future, whether you talked about this urban weatherization program, which is one thing you heard about earlier, or we have major projects coming up on the southeast side, the Lakeside Project, which is at 87th, 83rd, or 79th in the lake. It's a 500-acre site. You may have seen in the paper yesterday that the guy's going to renovate the post office. It's a very grand plan. But at a certain point in time, that plan may become a reality. And when it becomes a reality, we have to have our people at the table. So once again, and finally, if you're not a member of ACA, I'm urging you to become a member of ACA. If you are a member of ACA, I also urge you to become a member of the Trade Bureau. But let's get our folks' name out there early so that we really can take advantage of these opportunities that I think are going to be coming forward in the next 2 or 3 years. Thank you. Let's give Joe a round of applause. that was good. They said Reverend Willie, but I'm not a reverend. I've been around a lot of reverends, but I know the family is proud to think of that. But right now, we like to bring on the real Reverend Jesse L. Jackson Sr. Thank you.
Say, I am somebody. I am somebody. I can build, will build, must live. Can build, will build, must live, must build where I live. There's nothing we cannot do, nothing we cannot do. We have never lost a battle that we fought and never won a battle unless we fought. So fight on, fight on, fight on. Put your hands together like you really mean that. I want to say good morning. I want to say a special thanks and shout out to a man who has been the glue and the moving force in this mission of our work. He has grown up in our struggle. We see evidence of it all around. We missed him, we need him, we appreciate him, we must embrace him. A big hand for Omar Sharif. Put your hand together for Omar. Put your hand on your feet, show your love for Omar. On your feet, show your love and your appreciation. And with his cohort, Reverend Willie Brown. Give it up for the Reverend. And of course, Reverend Willie Barrett, get a hand for Reverend Willie Tappan Barrett. Thank you. To our Trade Bureau Director, Sister Marcia Turner from the Great West Side, give it up for her. Let me make several basic observations. One of them, how can a family function if it does not know itself? So how can a family function if it does not know itself? How can it function if it be divided? How can a family function if it does not know each other and if it be divided? No matter how your ship deck looks, if there's a crack in the foundation, you're going to sink. And part of what we're doing right now, Omar and Brent Barrow, is just connecting the pieces. Last week we took several of our staff members over to the Urban League headquarters. Fact is, most of our staff members do not know Urban League staff members. And they don't know us. And they don't know ACA. And that's a shame. See, we, as a family, must get to know each other because you do business with people that you know and trust and like. If you don't know each other, don't trust each other, don't like each other, you will not do business with each other. So first, we must revive the foundation. Unless the Lord builds a house, they labor in vain. And the house must be built on solid rock of trust, solid rock, and not sand, lest the wind will blow it away. Now, this sounds rather preacherish, and it is, because it's fundamental stuff. God said to Noah, it's going to be a flood. He didn't say discriminate based upon somebody's skin color or their gender. He said bring two of every kind. He said some of everybody. He said some of everybody must fit in the ark. Watch this. Those who could not swim inside the ark survived. Those who could swim outside the ark drowned. So those who could not swim inside the ark were saved. Those who could swim outside drowned. What that means is I'm smart and I know my stuff, and I'm not going to join the movement. So you can swim, but not 40 days and 40 nights without stopping. So you can swim, but not 40 days and nights without stopping. Now watch this. He didn't say, Willie, he didn't say teach swimming lessons. He said, say build an ark. Build an infrastructure. Now my point therefore is we should come here like this every week. Say every week. So if I want a job every week, I should meet every week. If I want a job once a year, we should come together once a year. Say when we show up, corporations show up, architects show up. Talk to me, somebody. My point is that so long as we are fractured into my thing, my actor, my this, my that, if your house is if my room is very well kept and the house is on fire, can't save my room. If my neighbor's house is on fire because they drink liquor and they take drugs and they smoke in the bed and their house on fire, I can't laugh if I live next door because the wind blows. Say hello. So I am not saved unless my neighbor is saved. If my neighbor is saved, I find security. I want my neighbors to have a job. When I leave and go to work, I want my neighbors to leave and go to work. Don't be hanging around while I'm going to work. Can I get a witness? Better get to say when I leave and go to work, I want my neighbor backing out the driveway at the same time. Because if my neighbor does not have a job, my house is their job. Am I here by myself? Now, I'm saying all that to say that there used to be a theory down in the old rabbit country called, Omar called the blind dog in the meat house. The problem with the blind dog in the meat house was the blind dog could not discern and organize what meats to eat. It just blind, just couldn't separate pork chop from chicken from beef, just blind dog in the meat house. See, a smart dog organizes a system and builds and grows. Then there's several things I want to write down. So number one, write down prison labor. Every city we go to now, we're looking more and more at prison labor taking away market labor. And folk in prison learning skills they can't use when they come home. See, people who learn skills in prison must be able to use those skills when they come home. So number one, write down prison labor. Number two, write down ex-offenders labor. Ex-offenders labor. Write down city, state, fed, and private contracts. City, state, fed, and private contractors. So whenever there's some building going on. Whether it's a house, or a church, or a highway, we want our share of the contracts and the jobs. Cut us in, or, cut us in, or, cut us in, or. Now, we got to keep that edge on, because we will be cut out unless we fight back and not fight each. See, we must fight for the job, not each other. Say, fight for the job and for the contract, not each other. Now, there's the issue. Omar wants to organize this another level, because I see some men and women up here who should be on a serious steering committee across different organizations. I see a steering committee that is black and white and brown, male, female. So there's more work to be done than we can do. More work to be done than we can do. We must build an organization that corresponds to the size of our possibilities. Now, Brown, watch this. Rich, watch this. If you were to go to Inglewood today, or Lundell, and we determined we're going to rebuild 25,000 homes. I asked a group of ministers the other day in Detroit. We went across the street from the church to a house where there was weeds in the yard and all blown up and boards and sunk in the roof. So I said, Reverend, what do you see? They said, well, what do you mean? I said, what do you see? What do you mean? I said, what do you see? So we see tall grass. I said, I see landscaping. They said, we see boards. I see window panes with boards coming down. That's what you say. We see a sunken roof. I said, I see a need for a roofer. Saying every house is boarded up is in fact contracting, subcontracting, capital, and at least 50 jobs. So if we decide we're going to one that not just march downtown, we're going to march where them houses have been abandoned by the banks, we need to march on the bank. Or march where we want to march, where we want to build. Now, if we take that approach, and I'm closing this note, Brother Omar, this is bigger than XYZ organization. I need to organize as bigger than my thing, because it really does not matter what your thing is. So all of us, when divided, are locked out. All of us, when united, are locked in. Now, if we hook this up with our allies from East St. Louis and Gary and Indianapolis and Milwaukee in this little 4-state zone, there are more jobs than there are of us. There are more contracts than there are of us. Benton Harbor, Michigan, Gary, Indiana, East Chicago, Indianapolis, Milwaukee. Let's claim it. Let's claim it. So let's claim it. In those 4 little states, they're building churches, schools, houses, highways, office buildings. So there's nothing we cannot do and nothing we do not deserve. But we must not be like the dog, the blind dog in the meat house. Let's take the time to organize our targets, our goals, and our timetable. So targets, goals, and timetable. Now, the broadcast at 10 o'clock is a way of saying we hit that broadcast today at 10 o'clock. 80 million households will see us. My mother will see us in Greenville, South Carolina. Reverend Williams will see us in Atlanta. Reverend Kerr will see us in Miami. Our group is meeting, watching us in Britain and in South Africa. We all over the world. So we leave here this morning, go downstairs, that we might tell the world this story. Now, this is as true, and say this is as true in California, New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut as it is in Chicago or St. Louis, Arkansas. There is not one downtown building built and owned by blacks in America. Once they had to sell the Johnson Publishing Company building, which was built by John Johnson, 11th-story building in Michigan. There's not one downtown building built and owned by blacks in America. We're going to change that. So we're going to change that. We're going to change that. Now, what it means is that, say, trade unions cannot lock us out. If they try to, we'll meet them. We demand the right to have trade skills, demand the right to be in the union. Union, let us in, or we will build without you. But we will have a job. Now they have a choice. I would rather that they let us in. If they don't, we'll build without them. So we must have a job. We don't have the right to lock us out. I remember John James Barrett, and he's a trucker from Chicago, by way of Arkansas, Mississippi. Where it has now a global trucker coming out of Detroit. His problem was when he started in the trucking that they grandfathered all truck contracts. And if your grandfather was not a trucker, you couldn't get to do the trucking. His grandfather was a slave. They got all kinds of schemes to lock us out. We cannot let trade unions use grandfather clauses, grandmother clauses, uncle clauses, auntie clauses to lock us out. So nobody can lock us out. We want to go to the front door. But if the front door is closed, whatever door there is, we'll open it. And if there is no door, and there are some windows, we'll climb through the window. But we intend to have a job. Is that fair? Does that make sense to y'all? Now, I want to do these two things. One, each of you should have before you a rainbow envelope. Omar is a part of our organization and our board. Omar, I'm going to put the burden on you and Willie, maybe Glenn, Brother Williams. Among these people here in some, we need to form a stronger steering committee. I mean, a strong, Willie. A strong, how many of y'all would like to serve on the steering committee? A steering to help organize this. Like to serve on the steering committee? Now, Omar, the talented people who spoke today got to take the time and sit down, who was 12 or 20, and build the kind of observations you made about what should and shouldn't happen, how to approach, how to apply. It'll all be white and black and brown. Say white, black, brown, male, female. We need allies. Our allies should be a part of our struggle. We should not isolate ourselves based upon race. We should build based upon allies and necessities. That part makes sense? So y'all know who the players are, Williams? Y'all figure out who constitutes such a broad-based committee? Because everything from how to apply for certification to late payment to borrowing money, all that stuff is involved in how you go from unemployment to employment, from non-contract to contract. And then when we win, say as we win, every Saturday on the broadcast, we should show another victory. I appeal to you to take the envelope now, get ready to go to the broadcast so the whole world can see you and make your case. The broadcast, so we're going to be having workshops all day, right, Omar? The broadcast, so will, according to what your own skill set, we'll be having workshops today, but it cannot stop here. I'm convinced that so we have the capacity to meet with this mayor, this county president, this governor, corporations, these contractors. There's nobody stopping us. If we, in fact, organize, we cannot be stopped, and there's no one to stop us. So we never just walk around mad at each other, mad at the world, say, stop being mad at the world, organize, and fight back. We fight back, we win. We don't fight back, we don't deserve to win. You earn crowns. You earn crowns. You don't inherit them. You can't keep them unless you fight. So you earn crowns. You don't inherit them, and you can't keep them unless you fight. Let us join hands and bow our heads in prayer. On this day, you've given us a sense of possibility, a sense of each other, of what can be done. Incline us to turn to each other, not on each other, and find joy in building. Let us rebuild the slums and create new communities. Let's find common ground, black and white and brown together, male and female. Let us overcome the pain of our past. For those who've learned skills in the prison, let them bring them home and use them. Let ex-offenders be redeemed and renewed. Let veterans come home and find jobs and not homelessness. Rebuild our homes and rebuild our houses. Give us a sense of each other's power and possibility. Let the light of hope shine from Chicago. The people all around the nation might find from this place new possibilities. We know you can if you will. There's nothing too hard for you. We fall down sometime. We get up again because the ground is no place for a champion. And we're champions. Touch the women. Touch the men. Heal our scars and our wounds. Give us the possibility of a new day. We thank you for Omar. He gets his scars from his stars and stars from his scars. Give him a sense. He's received, he's back home, he's loved, he's welcome. Give him a sense of joy. That every lesson learned be turned to advantage. Give him strength. Give us the capacity to love him, to make him feel at one with us. And we thank you for his leadership. Let that leadership be used to thy glory. Amen. Amen. Put your hands together. Now, we're going to broadcast. Now, two things. One, Bishop Tavis, give Bishop Tavis Grant a big hand, please. It's our national leader. You who are here should take your rainbow push envelope now. I want on the address, fill it out. I need your name, address, database, name, address, phone number, email. Please fill it out now. We all are members of ACA. Say we all are members of ACA, African American Contractors Association. We're all members of ACA. We can be members of ACA and the Rainbow at the same time. If we must choose between the two, fire Omar. Y'all know I'm talking trash. But please fill the envelope out now and turn it in to Willie or Omar. Whether you put in little or much, those who can give $100, do so. Some may give 50. It's 35 to join. Some may have less to give, but we at least need you to give your name, your address, your phone number, your email, so that we can stay in touch with you as these various projects come up. I want to thank you contractors for coming. Thank you very much. Omar, when we come back after the broadcast, what's our organizing format?
We're going to be organizing. We got committees, and we also got people. And network, and you'll find that you're going to meet some business people that you can trade and get some opportunity. And thank you, Reverend Jackson. Let's give Reverend Jackson another round of applause.
It's time for us to go downstairs now to the broadcast, that the whole world might see what we're doing. I pray that we will have unity. That's sort of Reverend Barry used to say, somebody wanted to say, I would rather be tail of something than the head of nothing. That one you'll say, I would rather be the tail of something than the head of nothing. We got so many people competing to knock each other out the box. If we just close ranks, there's nothing we cannot do. Mark?
Yeah, it was great. I'm an old-time member of ACA, so I came out to support the cause, and I'm glad I made it out.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Glad to be here. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much.
I thought it was very informative and educational.
What did you get from the meeting today?
What I get? Oh, well, it was very informative. It let me know about a lot of programs because I'm one trying to get into some of these programs and need employment. So, and I just appreciate them doing this for us, and I will be back for more of these programs.
Well, I got hope that change will come for the better for African Americans, and I just pray that brothers and sisters will receive something out of this tradition, and I just thank God for being here.
What I got from it is basically the same. I got, hope and more determination. And basically, I'm just glad to see brothers and sisters from all sides, all race, everybody can come together and unite like this, and just support to help everybody out.
Basically, I felt the meeting was very informative. Individuals came with enough knowledge to possibly help a lot of individuals here, but more importantly, it was an environment where people can come together, you understand, and learn more about each other, and learn more about these business contracts. And Jesse Jackson hit it right on the head when he basically said that, you understand, unless we can basically love one another and stay together, we can't basically make things happen. I want to leave you with this. They say if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it, and for all that you dream and schemes about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and you gladly sweat for it and plan for it, and lose all your terror and opposition for it, and if you simply go after this thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and tenacity, faith and confidence and stern personality, neither your body, golf, or pain can keep you away from the things that you want. If you can't perceive it, with the help of God, you can achieve it. This program was so exciting, and I believe that the individuals who were a part of it will be able to get the right information in order to move themselves forward. Thank you.
Well, basically, I kind of gathered the information that that this was basically kind of like a networking
meeting for contractors and tradesmen. It was very informative. You know, if someone is trying to get into the contracting business and organizing and creating their own contracting company.
This was a wonderful networking opportunity, as well as finding out about additional opportunities here within the city of Chicago.
So what did you hope to find personally?
I was personally looking to find what opportunities existed with various agencies, as well as having an opportunity to hear Reverend Jackson speak and encourage the attendees.
Reverend Jackson said a lot of wonderful things about us coming together. But what do you think about what he said as far as minorities coming together?
I think Reverend Jackson was exactly correct in that we need to unite, we need to be friends with each other, and we need to work together for the betterment of our people. The company by which I'm employed, HCO Architects PC, is a member of ACA. We have been for several years. We have been a past sponsor of ACA, correct? I was here today attending the ACA conference to find out about opportunities that exist with the city of Chicago and also the process, and also to have the networking opportunities with the vendors. I'm the marketing director for HCO Architects PC here in Chicago, and we design a variety of projects, including religious facilities, athletic facilities, aviation facilities, and housing projects, including senior housing and multifamily housing. Received quite a bit of information from this meeting. Received information concerning working with the city of Chicago, and also just information from some of the other vendors that were here in terms of employment opportunities for the residents, and just networking and working together, and helping us to employ our own and have more jobs within.
My name is Dolores Weems Jr. I work for UIC School of Public Health, and I'm a project coordinator for a couple of asthma projects under Dr. Victoria Persky.
Okay, you're here with ACA today, and what items do you have today?
Today I'm talking about asthma, and I'm doing asthma education because there are 26 million people in the United States with asthma, and it's not that black people have asthma more, but we die from asthma more. So my job is to educate our people on signs, symptoms, triggers of asthma, what exacerbates their asthma, what to look for, and how to respond in an asthma emergency.
And what are some of the signs that people have?
There's coughing, and a lot of people don't associate coughing with asthma, but coughing is a large sign that your asthma is out of control. It's not that you have it, but that your asthma is out of control. There's shortness of breath, and you don't see shortness of breath. You might see the person's chest rising in a different form, but there's not really something that's necessarily visible as coughing would be. There's shortness of breath, there's tightness of chest, which of course you wouldn't see in children who I work with primarily. Usually you see them rubbing their chest or they're hunched over because they're trying to get more air into their airways.
Are some people, I assume, born with asthma?
Asthma, yes, there are people, but asthma is not necessarily diagnosed in a person until usually about 4 years of age, and it's based on the history of the patient. What is your parent? Do your parents have it? Do one of your parents have it? Have you been exposed to environmental tobacco smoke? Are there other environmental issues that you've been exposed to that kind of results in this perfect storm that ends up as asthma in a patient?
And what's some of the things you can do if you are an asthmatic person?
Well, first of all, I like to call people a person with asthma as opposed to an asthmatic, because that's just a segment of their life, not necessarily who they are. But you can make sure that you've, in your home, because one of the things, again, environmental tobacco smoke is a large precursor for asthma. So instead of smoking in your house, and I know the parents don't like this, but go outside and smoke. It's not going in your bathroom to smoke because smoke is going to travel under your door. You want the little trinkets that we keep around our house to remind us of the trips that we've gone on. You want to make sure that they stay dusted if you're going to keep them. The primary thing that we propose is that you have a safe sleeping environment for the child that has asthma or the adult that has asthma. You keep your pets out of there. Your dog or your cat stays out of the child's bedroom as much as possible. You keep the trinkets and the little stuff and the clutter down to a minimum. And you keep some of the humidity because humidity can help exacerbate a child's asthma as well.
Okay, I see you have information about fish. Can you tell us a little bit about mercury in fish and so forth?
Well, I'm not an expert on this, but I've just recently started to bring out information about it because we want children and people with asthma to eat healthy food. One of the things that everyone says, eat fish, but fish also has contaminants. They have PCBs that can be found not only in the skin, is where you'd find the PCB, and other contaminants are going to be found actually in the muscles of the fish. And so you want to be aware of what fish you can eat, where the fish came from. Catfish, which is just something traditionally black people like to eat, can also be a problem because it's a bottom feeder. And however, if you're eating fish from the store as opposed to you went over to Lake Michigan and caught it yourself, you're probably less likely to have problems with it.
Okay. And show me some of the pamphlets you have.
We work with the CDC a lot on our grants, and so working with your child with asthma, one of the things I tell parents that even though this is focused towards children, the information is applicable to people with asthma, whether you're a child or adult. All right? So this is an important booklet that we pass out, as well as, is your asthma under control? Because this is one of the main things that is being focused in the new updated NEAT guidelines, which determine how is your asthma being controlled, because asthma is disease of severity, and so what you want to make sure is that the asthma is under control, that you've gotten a diagnosis from a doctor or from some other primary health care provider, and that from that point you then discuss risk and impairment. So this is one of the things that an individual can use, one of the tools rather an individual can use to determine is their asthma or their child's asthma under control. We talk with families about the albuterol inhalers that are used to control asthma exacerbation. They're only 200 puffs, and a lot of people don't know that. And so this is a tool that was developed by a colleague of mine at Mount Sinai to just enumerate. So you tick off every time you're using your albuterol inhaler, so you know as you're getting closer. I tell people by the time you get to 180, you want to go back and get your albuterol inhaler refilled. We also have spacer. Everyone that has asthma that's using an inhaler should use a spacer to get that asthma medication directly to their airway. All right? This is another form of a spacer that we usually use with teenagers, because teenagers, they're not going to carry this one. Then we have a peak flow meter. This is a meter that's used to measure how much airflow out the patient with asthma can have, because it's also a matter of how much air is coming out. And then we have models of a lung, or the airway, that I use to educate people so they know that this is what it looks like for someone without, and this is what's going on, because there's swelling, there's squeezing, and there's overproduction of mucus. So this is one of the models or tools I use, as well as this booklet here, which describes and shows what an asthma airway, what's going on with the airway in the lung.
I know the health better. Stay in our homes without your home's falling in on you. Yes. An inexpensive way to keep your home, if you can afford what do you have, the layaway plan or whatever, that you can get a certain percentage down and pay interest later and all that.
Hello, and welcome to the 2011 African American Contractors Association's 9th Annual African American Contractors Day, sponsored by Walmart, Rapid Set Construction Cement, Bear Paint, Food for Less, The Home Depot, Dominic's Finer Foods, Sherwin-Williams Paint, Walgreens, Starbucks Coffee, 3M Corporation, Glidden Paints, U.S. Gypsum Corporation, Bosch Power Tools, Makita Power Tools, and hosted by the Rainbow Push Coalition. Other participants in the African American Contractors Association's Contractors Day include Webb Chevrolet from Oak Lawn, Illinois, Sherwin-Williams Paints, and a special thanks goes out to Alderman Niles Sherman for his classic cars.
Good morning. My name is Roland Dimes, and I'm the operations manager for Go Foam Inc. We're a spray foam insulation contractor, and we're here today at Operation Push headquarters to join the African American Contractors Association. We're here basically to show the contractors the insulation of the future. Spray foam is like turning a styrofoam cooler upside down on a house and keeping all of the air and the moisture and all of the energy that we put into the houses inside the house rather than letting it leak out. So we're happy to be here, and hopefully people will understand the benefits of spray foam insulation.
Hey, good morning. I'm Marcus Wells with Glidden Professional Paints. We're one of the largest suppliers of paints and coatings in the Chicagoland area and in the world, actually. We offer everything from interior paints, exterior paints, all maintenance coatings for your home, pretty much everything, commercial, residential. We've got an office at 1243 West Madison in Chicago where we sell, deliver paint all throughout the Chicagoland. So we're kind of your paint guys. If you got any questions about paint, let us know. Oh, this is a great event to kind of get into the community and get everybody aware of the products that we sell and get in front of the customers. And it's a great way to network. Like I'm already passing out some applications because we were looking for a driver and getting to know some of the contractors that, it's a great event to be a part of. I appreciate the invite.
Hi, how's it going? I'm Raphael. Mario, we're from Rapid Set.
How's it going?
We're just here to promote our cement here. We're a fast setting concrete material, cement material. We have mortar mix. It's just a fast setting product, non-shrink, hydraulic. Later on today we'll be mixing it on so you guys can actually take a look and see how it works, how fast it is, how strong it is. And that's it for me. I don't know if Mark has something to say.
Yeah, all our products are also commercial grade products, DOT approved, military approved, and government approved. Our products have known been used over all the other airports in the country. What they do is repair their runways overnight and are ready for jet landing and jet takeoff next morning. We're also all across the West Coast and the East Coast as well too. They repair their highways with our products, so it's a great product for any type of new projects, industrial projects, and also repair projects. All right.
So we have the mortar mix here. This is good for 1/2 inch to 6 inches in thickness in one coat. You can actually use this for stucco repair, vertical repair, overhead repair. Really nice and sticky, won't sag if you're using it for an overhead repair. Shower pans, if you use it for a shower pan, you go ahead and tile within 1 hour. We have this one here, the Cemento. Does everything. This has real fine. It has a silica sand. You can go from 0 to 4 inches in one hit. You can use it for resurfacing. You can use it for leveling. You can use it for every project you have at home that needs some sort of cement. This does it all. You don't have to buy one product to fill it in and then use something else to resurface it. This does everything right here. The Rapid Set Cemento. Next we have over here the concrete mix. This is the one with the gravel. This is what you would be using for post setting, for doing your decks. It's buildable, drivable in 1 hour. 1 hour, it's got 3,000 PSI, just like all our products. This is what you would be using for slabs, your sidewalk, or driveway, anything where you have to fill in anything over 2 inches. And those are our 3 stock items at Home Depot.
I'm Dan Liddy. I work for USG, and we're showcasing the USG portfolio within the Home Depot today. We make the Durock Next Gen product, the Fiber Rock product, Secure Rock, and the ultralight drywall, new to the Home Depot and exclusive Home Depot.
Aisha Barnes, I'm also with USG here showcasing the USG portfolio as Dan mentioned. Again, our featured products is USG sheetrock brand ultralight panels, and we're pretty excited about it. It's been doing well for us, and we encourage you, if you're doing a drywall project, to go to the Home Depot, pick it up, and it'll help you do your job faster, stronger, and better. It's the same installation as standard half-inch drywall. Right now we have it in half-inch, pretty much all lengths, as well as 54-inch. So as the standard way that you install typical drywall, you'll use this the same exact way. The only difference is that it's lighter and it's stronger pound for pound.
Okay, my name is Steve Lungawa. I'm the retail sales manager for the Chicago area, and I believe they wanted to see a little bit of how our new product cuts here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that for you. Scores and snaps, nice and easy. As you can see, nice clean cut, nice edges, so you got an easier product to work with, along with the 30% lighter in weight product.
It's a substitute for drywall.
Correct. Yes. It's the regular sheetrock is 30% heavier. So the main concern with contractors of how we can improve the product is weight. So what we did was formulate a new product and now have a product that performs the same way, but it's 30% lighter, so it's a little bit easier for the contractors to work with.
Good morning. My name is Jim Williams. We're here to represent the Home Depot from the Dan Ryan. We're proud to be here with the ATCA operations. We are the busiest depot on the south side of Chicago. We service most of the contractors in this area. We do roughly about $12 million a year just in contractor service alone. A lot of the projects here on this side of town, most of that material is supplied by the 87th and Dan Ryan Home Depot.
My name is Matt with Bear Paint. I also represent the Kills Primers as well as our new Kills Pro X paint. Right now we have a table set up where we're showing off our products. We have our Kills Pro X, which is geared more towards contractors, property owners, going to get good touch-up, great application. Next we have our Kills Primers. This is the #1 primer in the world. We have two new products here. We have a Clean Start, which is a 0 VOC. Anyone painting hospitals, communities, that's the one to go with. Also a stain blocking ceiling paint and primer. And then finally we have our Ultra Paint, which has been rated #1 Consumer Reports 2 years in a row now. It's a paint and primer in one. It's going to give great durability. Homeowners, that's the way to go. Property managers who don't like doing a lot of touch-up, that's the way to go too.
Good morning, guys. My name is Roberto Rios. We're here with Bosch Tool Corporation. At the Dan Ryan, we're here to support AACA, African American Contractors Association. We're Bosch. We have a full variety of pneumatics, hammer drills, you name it, we have it. You contact us at Home Depots. We have pneumatics, hammers, circular saw saws, roof nailers, impact drivers, and hammers.